Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Pumela Lezondi with your technology and social media news. It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. This week our Twitter poll is asking you if you've gone back to the office or if everybody has gone back to your office or if everyone is still working remotely. This as we are reading reports that people at Meta haven't really gone back to the office and Meta is struggling to keep up with office space and they're letting go of some of their office spaces. It's a brand new world in the post-lockdown environment. Results of that poll are coming up later in the program. Here's what's coming up in this particular episode. We go in depth on what happened at Comic-Con last weekend. We have details on the Luries and as they celebrate 45 years this year. And in our conversation, we chat about cybersecurity as we are about to start Cybersecurity Month in October. Gaming, animation, and all those comic characters came to life at Comic-Con over the last weekend. Producer Lebo Mokomela was there.
It was a whirlwind of excitement at the Naswick Expo Center as Comic-Con Africa 2023 attracted record-breaking crowds. Droves of fans from across South Africa descended upon the convention, transforming Johannesburg into a mecca for all things geek and pop culture. One of the highlights of the convention was the dazzling cosplay. Fans came out dressed to impress in true Comic-Con style.
So originally we were going to be Rem and Ram from this anime called ReZero, but it was a bit short notice, so we're now the budget version, which is Rim and Rom.
This is a modernized Ken Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul.
What character are you dressed as?
Princess Peach.
And who is Princess Peach?
She is the princess of the Toads from the game Mario Kart and Nintendo.
So are you like a Super Mario fan?
Yes,
Nintendo
yes.
fan?
I've been playing it ever since I was like 6 years old, so I love Mario.
The convention also shone a spotlight on local talent in the comic book and creative industries.
We had to create a project, right, that was based on creating toys and masks. And then they were going to be printed out and then we had to print them ourselves. So this was based on mythic and monsters, anything you wanted, as long as it was linked in to what a specific African mythology or anything to do with like our Africanicity and stuff like that. So we went into, started creating it. We had to do like research and stuff like that to understand what our project is, which is a lot, it's very important for designers. And then we went into sketching and creating different artworks as this is basic version of itself, like pretty much creating an overall illustration. And then to take it to 3D, where we actually had to make it come alive.
One thing that was quite out of the ordinary at this year's Comic-Con Africa was this Doctors Without Borders stall. This is an international independent medical humanitarian organization that delivers emergency aid to people affected by armed conflict, epidemics, and healthcare. The question is, what brings an organization such as this one to a comic and gaming convention?
Well, we're here because we're here to raise awareness about umsebenzi wethu and to also get people to understand what we do is not a game. I'm sure you can see Lana, we say this is not a game. We're here to represent real life stories abantu esibasizayo on a daily basis. We assist in countries that are affected by wars, natural disasters, outbreaks, do you understand? So it's important for us to come here and speak to gamers and people that are here. I mean, there's over 1,000 people in this place, so it's very important for us to find ourselves in spaces where we can interact with people from all walks of life.
Gamers were in their element with a dedicated gaming zone featuring esports tournaments and retro gaming stations. The gaming section was a hub of activity with fans showcasing their skills and enthusiasm for the industry. The 4th annual Comic-Con Africa boasted a lineup of celebrity guests from Hollywood stars to comic book legends. Fans had the opportunity to interact with their favorite creators and actors.
The advent of many digital tools has changed just about everything, and this includes the advertising and marketing space. As the Luries observe 45 years since the inception of what is Africa and the Middle East's biggest advertising awards, we look at how these digital platforms have changed the industries as well.
In the digital age, social media platforms are proving to be a game changer for businesses to expand their audience and reach potential customers. They do this by employing effective strategies to establish a strong online presence.
There are a couple of things. The one is obviously making sure that we showcase the power of creativity in solving problems for brands that we work with, but also making an impact in the communities that we work within. So in our jury, what's very important is looking at whether if it's PR or live or out of home, has it delivered to the job that is required at hand, but it's done so in a creative way, it's done so in a way that's impactful, it's done so in a way that really drives results.
However, industry experts say developing an effective social media strategy is easier said than done.
Of course, not every business and every brand needs to be on social media necessarily, right? So some businesses are highly professional, highly specialized, and so they focus on different kinds of techniques to engage with their audiences. But on the main, and generally speaking, it's really about where are the consumers and how do I engage them? And if they are on Facebook, you need to go to Facebook. If they are on television, you need to go to television. If they're on radio, you need to go to radio.
Social media became a crucial part of marketing during the COVID-19 pandemic as people sat inside their homes. Apps such as TikTok took off. Businesses started to take advantage of these apps and advertise their products. Non-profit organizations in the creative industry say they are promoting creativity by helping brands that leverage the power of social media to promote their products.
If you think about social media really is, social media is really about where the attention of society, communities and individuals is actually heading to. That's what social media actually gives you. And ultimately, if you're in a brand right now, your brand has always been about attracting the attention of consumers. And previously, ages ago, if you look at it 200-300 years ago, the way that the brands existed then, the way they do it is we're in a little community. It was very easy to put little flyers up and say, this is what we have. But in the world right now, we're looking at a global stage, or in our case, a countrywide or regional-wide stage for the Luris itself. And what brands need to understand is understand where the attention of those communities are.
They are doing this by awarding deserving recipients for their fresh thinking, innovative ideas, and outstanding execution.
The first thing we're looking for is innovation. Cannot win a Luri without demonstrating innovation. And then we also check, one, quality. Are they actually producing work that really has strong quality it is? But other than just quality, is it relevant to the brands who are represented in the ads? Is it relevant to the consumers who are being targeted? And then also, is it relevant for where it's been shown? I mean, is this a good, strong television ad if it's meant for television? Or is it a good, strong digital ad if it's meant to be on a digital platform?
This gave a rise to a new type of entrepreneurship, content creation. Industry experts say brands that leverage social media successfully have the luxury of always being a part of the online conversation.
Now, if someone is asking you about something you don't know, in all likeliness, you go on Google to look for that information. It's been 25 years for Google, and we went to their celebration recently.
This month, Google commemorates its 25th anniversary. When first launched 25 years ago, Google was far from the first internet search engine, but quickly, Google Search became known for its ability to help organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful.
Google has been in South Africa for since 2005, and we just see, more and more people come onto the internet and benefit from digital technology. South Africa, we have about 74% digital penetration, which is really great. It was probably in the late 50s about 4 years ago. And as more spectrum becomes available, we have much more internet penetration.
For their 25th birthday, Google is looking back at some of the milestones that played a big role in where the internet search engine is today. One of the moments is in 2001 when singer and actress Jennifer Lopez attended the 2000 Grammy Awards. Her daring Versace dress became an instant fashion legend and the most popular query on Google at the time. Back then, search results were just a list of blue links, so people couldn't easily find a picture they were looking for. This inspired Google to create Google Images.
We've seen massive growth. We've got about 15 products that are used by 500 million people daily. We've got about 6 that are used by more than 2 billion people daily. So it just shows you the power of these products that are free, that are accessible to everyone. But I mean, one that we all use all the time is Google search, right? And when looking around the room, many of us will be familiar with things like encyclopedia, but you know, the world has shifted. People have become much more digital. And search has been incredible. I remember before we had images on search, we only had like blue links that came up in response to a query.
This year, Google introduced Search Labs and Search Generative Experience. With Search Labs, you can test early-stage experiments and share feedback directly with the teams working on them. The first experiment, SGE, brings the power of generative AI directly into search.
We announced new improvements to Bard, which includes the fact that now people can use it's sort of integrated, so you can actually almost like use the platform, but actually drives you to your other platforms that you use that are belonging to the Google suite. So it really just enhances the experience, and it's no longer just about just typing in the question and that's it. It can really help you also correct some of the information that you've inputted based on what you've inputted somewhere else. So really it means that the system really talks to the other sort of products that we have, which really can help greatly enhance the responses that you get from our generative AI tool, which is Bard.
The term Google it has become a part of our lives and has helped end many arguments. Some of the guests expressed how Google has impacted their lives.
I host a tech show on Channel Africa Radio every Sunday. Some of the content there sometimes tend to get a little bit tricky because it's actually been a couple of months since I've been on that particular platform. So Google is my best friend. But also I'm a single mother. So even with my baby was my first child, Google has helped me navigate things that babies like.
So the first time I heard about Google was I was in high school, and I saw these two, young guys launching this platform, and I was like, what is this all about? And then fast forward to a couple of years later, I started a magazine myself, a digital magazine. And then, obviously having a digital platform, Google helped us a lot.
I work in the tech industry, so I use Google for basically everything. I mean, they are also invested in ChatGPT, so I use that on a daily basis. So it's made my life so much easier.
Google has taught me that it doesn't matter what your current IQ is. The ability to learn and your encouragement to Google different stuff every day, it just makes you know that anything is unexpected and you just get to learn whenever.
Some of the other pieces Google created over the years are Google Translate and Google Trends in 2006, Google Mobile App, Voice Search in 2008, among many others. Google says it's amazing to reflect on where it started and how far they have come.
SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za. On email. After the break, we chat about issues of cybersecurity as October is Cybersecurity Month. SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za. On email, welcome back. Now, Interpol says South Africa is fighting off cyber threats more than any other country on the African continent. We do know that in the last couple of years, there have been a various number of threats that have happened in the banking sector, in government and even government entities like City Power, for example, the city of Johannesburg, and also Transnet. Now, October is Cybersecurity Month. This puts a spotlight on this very big problem. To discuss cybersecurity with us is Ibrahim Asmal, who is a senior lecturer in the Durban University of Technology's Information Technology Department. Hello, and thank you very much for being a part of our network. But maybe if we can start by explaining what cybersecurity actually is.
Cybersecurity is where we employ techniques to protect our data, our servers, our networks, and our devices from malicious attacks.
What are some of the most prominent threats?
You get a lot of intrusion attempts, you get a lot of malware attempts, okay, where people try to steal your data or encrypt your data, okay, because we know data is the new gold. Okay? So hackers try to access the data, delete, encrypt for ransom, or try to disrupt the services of the organization.
That's a big business, and for individuals?
Even for individuals, it's the same thing. Okay, we need to protect our devices. Why? We got data on our devices. And by them being able to access the data on our devices, they can get hold of our passwords, to print for our bank statements or to our bank accounts, and compromise the device itself and the data that you have got on the systems itself.
So how can we protect ourselves?
Oh, well, it's a little bit different when we speak about individuals and organizations. Organizations have a lot of sensitive data that they need to look after. Personal information of the clients as well as their IPs, etc. They will employ a number of different techniques to ensure that the data is safe. For example, banks will have an incident center where all data flows in and out. They will have various different technologies that they employ, like intrusion detection systems, intrusion prevention systems, antivirus, anti-malware, all range of different hardware and software to try to protect their organization. Individuals obviously do not have that type of money, so we will protect our devices by using passwords, biometric scanning, okay, change our passwords every now and then, make sure we have the latest updates of the operating system and legal antivirus software, so and anti-malware, anti-spyware, anti-pop-ups, pop-unders, basically to protect our devices.
Now, why do you think Interpol would say that South Africa has the highest number of cyber threats when you compare it to the rest of the African continent?
Well, firstly, South Africa is rated, I think, 6th in the world by cybercrime stats in relation to cyber threats. Okay. Also, Essentia has done a report that they put out lately, which says that just from January 2020 to February 2021, there were 230 million cyber threat detections in South Africa at a cost of 2.2 billion rand. Okay? So I think South African population needs to be educated more. Companies need to take security very, very seriously, as the effects of it could be long-lasting and could affect an organization. They say that 60% of all SMEs will be attacked within the next 2 years, and 27% of these will not recover from such an attack.
What skills are needed to combat cybercrime?
Well, firstly, there is a shortage of cybersecurity skills worldwide. I think the latest figures came out, there were over 2 million jobs available in cybersecurity. That's globally. Okay. So at the user level, people need to be introduced to what is cybersecurity, what is the data, how do they protect the data. Organizations need to also educate the staff, because you have organizational data, you have personal data, okay? And how do we protect this data? So people need to attend courses, okay, to upskill themselves in the area. If you want a career in cybersecurity, you'll have to go for the advanced cybersecurity international certifications that are out there.
And where can one get training?
Well, training is multifold depending what type of job that you're looking at in cybersecurity, because there are different levels. Because you have the incident center, you have the end user specialist, cybersecurity specialist, etc. So you've got to start at the bottom. So I would say that you've got to look at the courses that are offered on the internet, like Udemy, edX, etc. International organizations like Cisco, Hawaii also offer certifications. DUT, we just ran a course 2 weeks ago in preparation for Cyber Month, where we ran the introduction to cybersecurity, and we offered it to anybody who wanted to attend in the evening. It was free with international certification. Government is also taking this very, very seriously. Right now, we are currently training all government employees in cybersecurity with an intensive 2-day course that we are running for them.
All right, Ibrahim Asmal, thank you very much for being a part of our network. Ibrahim Asmal there is a senior lecturer at the Department of Information Technology at the Durban University of Technology. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Stay with us. It is the SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Welcome back. Here's what else took place in the rest of the world in the tech space.
This is Arisa Yan. She's only 6 years old, but already a smartphone native. She effortlessly swipes through comedy videos on social media platform Douyin while giggling on the sofa. Arisa started using a cell phone when she was 4 years old. Mobile phone addiction is a major concern in China. The government drafted a regulation in August limiting minors to a maximum of 2 hours a day on their smartphones.
当然会了，因为小朋友学习是一部分，但是他看视频就很容易上瘾。那怎么去平衡这个时间就变得很重要。目前来说，我觉得小朋友一接触手机或者是 iPad 之后，只要他们一刷到视频，然后就会很容易上瘾。
So I think it's really beneficial for the government to take step on these restriction measures. And I believe that in the future, more and more government will participate in these policies.
Val hopes that instead of restrictive policies, the government can subsidize extracurricular activities for families. She says a free day at the zoo or offering discounts for sports activities can offset some of the financial burden on parents and give children more opportunities to socialize. And now in the USA. The country's Federal Trade Commission filed a long-awaited antitrust lawsuit against Amazon.com, charging the online retailer with harming consumers with higher prices in the latest U.S. government legal action aimed at breaking big tech's dominance of the internet. The lawsuit has been expected after years of complaints that Amazon.com and other tech giants abuse their dominance of search, social media, and online retailing to become gatekeepers on the most lucrative aspects of the internet. The lawsuit, which was joined by 17 state attorneys general, follows a 4-year investigation and federal lawsuits filed against Alphabet's Google and Meta platforms Facebook.
There are reports that say Meta, owners of Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp, are letting go of some office space. This week, our Twitter poll is asking if people have come back to your office in this lockdown environment or if people are still largely working remotely. That's it. That's all we have for you. Find us on the SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It is newsnetwork at sabc.co.za. On email from me, it's Pumela Lezondi and the rest of the network team. Have a good one. Bye-bye.